ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Beat the Book. You know what it is, you know the game, you know what we do here. We beat the book. Welcome back to our betting channel. As you guys know by now, you guys should. If you're new to the channel, I'm MattyBets. This is BigAL Bettor. What we do here, we go through the football games, we go through the basketball games. We just started getting into basketball. You guys know that if you guys have been around a while, we've kind of been plugging it here and there. We plug the football with the basketball, basketball with the football. That's what we do. Uh, welcome back to the channel, first and foremost. And secondly, let's jump into some football. Big Al, you want to take this one away?
Oh man, Matt, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready. We hit our four-pick parlay on Monday Night Football. So
Love
we're
that.
kind of trying to ride that all the way into this video, kind of just, swings for the fences a little bit here, get that bag.
Get on a hot streak, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, we got the Ravens taking on the Bengals. It's a 6-point spread, which I don't want to tip my hand too much, but I think 6 points is a little much for the these two teams and just kind of how close they play each other when they're mostly healthy. Um, they played earlier on in the season. We saw that thriller on Sunday afternoon or morning. I think it was a 10 a.m. game, but it went to overtime, and the Ravens ended up winning it by a field goal off of was it a fumble or was it a missed field goal by the Bengals?
I think it was
I'm
missed.
trying
It
to
was,
remember.
yeah, I want to
Yeah,
say it
they
was
missed it,
missed.
gave them a short field, and then bada bing, bada boom, game over. Um,
Yep.
so it was a 3-point spread that time, and both these teams. I mean, Joe Burrow when he's healthy plays the Ravens pretty close. He really gets up for these games. So over under set at 53. Depending on your book, I don't know if Matt's on FanDuel, so I don't know if it's different on FanDuel, but on DraftKings it's at 53. Um, I'm really excited for this game. I think it should be a banger. I like the Bengals plus the 6 points, and I do like the over simply because last time it was an over, and we know the Ravens are the best team against the run. They're the worst team against the pass. So the Bengals are going to air this thing out, and then the Ravens are going to run the ball and just kind of score the way they normally score. And the Bengals defense hasn't been able to stop anybody. So I think this over, I mean, it's clearly a high over. 53 is one of the highest ones we've seen all year. Normally, when you get 50s, it's like 49, 50, 51. So 53 is pretty high. But I like the over here. I think both teams are going to get to 30. And then, I like the Bengals plus 6. I think they can keep it within a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah. Last time that these guys played, it was in Cincinnati. Now it's in Baltimore. And the last time that
Sure.
they played, they totaled 80 points. So it
That's a
was,
lot.
well, if the over under was set at 80 and you bet the over, you would have hit on it. So, like you said with the over, I'm right there with you. I also expect it to be, like you said, Ravens aren't good against the pass. Joe Burrow likes to pass. And the
Yep.
Bengals, on the other hand, they haven't been able to stop anybody. So I really like this game to be a high scoring game, kind of a little faster paced. I think the Ravens are going to try to slow down the game a little bit, try to keep the
Okay.
ball away from Joe Burrow. That's just the smart way to play the game when you're playing against
Mhm.
Burrow and you know that you can't stop the pass. T. Higgins is ruled out for this game as well.
Okay.
Well, at least he's doubtful right now. He's not officially ruled out, but he's doubtful. So 9 times out of 10, that means they're not playing. Uh, and normally I'd say that the Bengals suck without T. Higgins, but then last week we saw him drop 40 points. Joe Burrow accounted for 5 touchdowns. Like, it's just dumb that, like, as soon as I start saying, hey, like, because we talked about that game and I said, hey, Joe Burrow, he sucks without T. Higgins. The Bengals are a weird team. They're not a good team. And then they just go on and just make me shut my mouth and eat my own words. So I like the Bengals to be at full tilt. I wouldn't say full strength, obviously, because T isn't there, but I do like the Bengals in this matchup. But it's hard to take the Ravens. Uh, it's hard to take the Bengals when the Ravens are getting 6. And over here we have 6.5, so you'd like that a lot because they give you the hook there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would.
but I like the Ravens here at -6.5. They're at home. They're arguably the best.
Really?
They are the best team in the AFC. Like, you can say what you want to about the Chiefs being undefeated. The Ravens are still the best team. I think if there's a rematch in the champs game right now, I think the Ravens still win. I think the Ravens win that game. But neither here nor there. I'm on the over, and I like the Ravens at -6.5.
Well, and I mean they missed going to overtime with the Chiefs by a toenail of Mark Andrews in the end zone or Isaiah Likely,
It was
whoever
likely,
it
yeah.
was. Um, and that was without Henry even doing what Henry's been doing recently. Like, because in that game Henry didn't even have 70 yards. We took him for 70 yards and he didn't even hit it. Remember?
Yep.
So a full like this iteration of the Ravens versus the Week 1 Ravens, I think would have a much better chance beating the Chiefs right now than and they almost I mean they were about to force overtime in that game in Week 1. So
hmm Exactly. But that was a game of inches.
That is crazy. You're gonna take -6.5 though.
I'm gonna take -6.5 with them at home. Like I do like the Bengals a lot, and I kind of want the Bengals to win this because I'd love for the Bengals to make the playoffs because that's the one kryptonite to um, Patty Mahomes
Mahomes.
as we've seen. So if the Bengals don't make the playoffs, then it's kind of like they're kind of a shoe in to go back to the Super Bowl because you get a different Chiefs team in the playoffs. We all know this, but
Mhm.
at the same time too, it's like if anybody's gonna beat them, where it's like I'm not even gonna think twice and I'm gonna go and bet the Bengals, it's gonna be if they're playing against the Chiefs in the playoffs because
Right.
Burrow just has Mahomes' number.
Right.
hmm But that's it for our picks of the game. Kind of how we think the game's gonna go. We both think it's gonna be a high scoring game. One of us is on the Bengals. I'm on the Ravens. There you go. There
Doesn't
you
this
have it.
just feel though? Doesn't this just feel like like the Ravens go into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals when the Bengals weren't looking too good early on in the season? Doesn't this just feel like a game where Burrow goes in there and wins this thing by a touchdown?
Yeah, could be, but I'm not gonna trust it. I'm
Okay.
not gonna
Yeah.
trust
You're
it.
not gonna bet it. You're not gonna lay the money on
Yeah,
it.
I'm not going to lay the money on it, but I do. I could see that happening in a scenario where, yeah, the Bengals win by 7 points. I can see that, but I'm just not going to put my money there. Like
I
the
might go
Bengals have been
all.
kind of weird this year. They've kind of just been a weird team where they have games where they score a ton of points, and then they have other games where they don't score anything. So it's like 2 weeks ago when they played against the Eagles. They got absolutely destroyed, and the Eagles haven't even looked that good this year. Like their defense hasn't
Right.
looked good either, and it's like you just let the Eagles just destroy you and demolish you like that. Like it's weird. It's a weird season for the Bengals for sure.
Yeah, that defense has been struggling.
hmm
So, all
But
right,
yeah,
let's hop into these 4 pick parlays, man. I know you're tired of talking about the outcome of this game. I just think that it's going to be a fun one. So,
yeah, exactly. I want to know, like, and I think our viewers also want to know, like, where are we going to make our money? Like, where's the 4 pick parlay, the one that's a little bit juicier, the Geo just playing the over under or just playing the spread? So I'll jump into mine. Like I said, we hit our one on Monday. We're going to try to get double down here. We're going to go Monday and Thursday. Last time I hit a 4 pick parlay, I decided to go really conservative for the next game, and it didn't work out. So this week we're doing something a little different. We're kind of going to,
okay,
swing for the fences a little bit here. It's one of my higher 4 pick parlays I've had all year. So
okay,
first off, we're going Joe Burrow 3+ passing touchdowns. There you go. If that doesn't tell you that we're reaching a little bit on this, I don't know what does. Next, we're going Andre Ishovas. I don't know if I said his name right or not, but we're taking him for 25+ reception yards. He is the third string receiver there while T. Higgins is out. Next, we got Zay Flowers at 5+ receptions. He's the number one receiver over there in Baltimore. And then we're taking Andre Ishovash with an anytime touchdown. That parlay pays out plus 1470. A little juicier than it's been previous weeks, but we like the 1400. We like the game plan here where it's going to be Joe Burrow throwing the ball a lot. And with T. Higgins not there, those targets and stuff like that have to go somewhere. So I like Ishavash. He's gotten better every single week that T. Higgins has been out. So, and I mean, 3 weeks ago, he had 0, 0, and 0 on one target. 2 weeks ago, 3 targets, 0, 0, and 0. And then last week was 4 targets. It just keeps going up every single week. He had one catch, he had 10 yards and a touchdown. So I like this to be maybe 6, 7 targets, and maybe he does a little bit better, catches a little bit more of the balls, and he gets to that 25 yards and snags a touchdown. There you go. And then that's 2 of the legs already hit, and a passing touchdown for Joe Burrow.
okay. I kind of like it. I'm shocked you didn't throw in anything with Lamar, anything with Henry, anything with Chase.
Nope.
Jamar Chase, not Chase.
One of my first ones that I hit was all of the same team.
Sure, sure.
But this one, obviously, we have Zay Flowers in there for 5 catches. I think he's
Right.
going to
Which
be
I
very
fine.
involved.
Zay Flowers is a dog, and he's clearly like a favorite target of
Yes.
Lamar's. So, uh, no, I the one that's going to be tough is Burrow 3 touchdowns. But if you're going based off the first time these guys played, he had 5, so it's like that's pretty comfortable.
Yep.
And I
And then
think when I
last
was
week, he accounted for 5 as well. So,
sure, and like I was looking, and 2+ touchdowns is huge. It's almost -200 if for him to throw 2. So I'm guessing 3's plus money.
yeah, it's around plus 300.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. But when you're talking about passing touchdowns, even like touchdown scores, it jumps a ton when you're going from like 1 to 2 or even 2 to 3. Like it just that's the way that the books do it because it's like yeah, to throw 2 touchdowns is like especially for somebody like Burrow, it's like yeah, it's pretty common, but 3 is kind of like that threshold where it's like you had a great game if you threw 3 touchdowns. So
Right, and Burrow threw for almost 400 yards on these guys last time, and like you said, the 5 touchdowns. And um, I was looking at the rushing numbers for the Bengals last time, and like Zach Moss had 42 rushing yards in that game. Like they don't run the ball, and he was the
Hmm.
leading rusher. So like Burrow, I think had like 15 rushing yards off of like one scramble where he picked up a ton of yards. But other than that, like they just throw the rock on against this team, and that's the one weakness for the Ravens. So
Yep, so it's a great matchup all around. If you would like high scoring games and exciting games, it should be a matchup made in heaven because Bengals aren't good at stopping the run, and the Ravens love to run the football with Lamar and with Derrick Henry. And then you also have the Bengals that love to throw the ball, and the Ravens aren't that good against stopping the pass. So,
what's funny is both these teams they both had a loss. Bengals to the Eagles, and then the Ravens lost to the Browns, and then they both just dunked on a team last week and just killed them. So now they're coming. Both teams are coming in off
hot.
huge wins. Yeah, and they get to play on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be actually awesome. So, all right, I'll jump into my four-pick parlay. It doesn't pay nearly as much as yours. I didn't get that crazy, but I've got Lamar for 40-plus rushing yards as always.
Yep.
I didn't get him last week because when we made our Sunday video, he wasn't even available. He ended up only getting like 39. He got to right around it, but that's the first week he hasn't hit 40. So I got Lamar for 40. I got Burrow to throw for 275 plus. It's plus money play. I got Jamar Chase for 100 plus reception yards. He had 190 last time they played,
Yep.
and with no he's gonna I think have another big day. And then my final bet is the second half over 26 and a half points. It's the
Ooh,
line for the
okay.
second. The Ravens give up the most points in the fourth quarter. So I'm just expecting, and last time they played, there were 41 total points scored in the second half. So this over 26 and a half feels like the right spot. This thing pays out plus 675.
Okay, nice. I like that. It's a little more conservative than mine is for sure, but at the same time too, like that Lamar 40 rushing yards is crazy that it's hit pretty much every week.
Every week except for just last week, and like I said, he was at 36 or 39. He was right around it. And I was
Hmm.
just like, please, Lord, like let there be a crazy scramble, but they already had the game locked up, and it was GG'd. So
Yeah. All right, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got the four pick parlays. Now we're going to jump into my favorite part, which is the touchdown scores. Who's getting in the end zone and who is not. And also just the guys that we like. We don't mention everybody that we think is going to get a touchdown, especially if we think it's going to be, an over game. We're not going to mention
sure,
12 guys to score touchdowns. We're not doing that. We're still trying to, make money here. We're not trying to lose money by taking every
right.
player on the teams to get a touchdown. So I'll start off with mine first. Obviously, in my parlay, we got Ishavash. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look
Hmm.
up his name to see how you actually
I
say it.
think
I've
that is
heard.
right. I think that's
Okay,
the right
I've
way to
heard
say
like
it.
four different announcers say his name and they've said it differently, so I'm not sure. He's
I think
he's
the
sitting there.
IO is like Yoshivas.
Oh, so it's like Yoshivash.
That's
Okay.
exactly, I believe, how it's pronounced.
Okay. Well, he's a plus 280. I like him a lot with that. Next, we got to go Derrick Henry. He's minus 280, but I mean, it's Derrick Henry. He's scored every week. Next, we're going
Yep.
Mark Andrews at plus 190. Love Mark
Okay.
Andrews. Gotten more involved the last couple weeks. First half of the season, he sucked and he was non-existent. And then
Hmm.
last but not least, we're going Chase Brown. I just think that if they get close to the end zone, it's going to be Chase Brown, or if they're in the red zone, it's going to be, hey, let's do a dump off pass, a little screenplay to the running back, or it'll just be a run right down the middle. So, and he's a minus
Okay.
125. He's the second favorite in this game to score a touchdown.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
So,
have two of those on my list. I don't have Yoshivas or Chase Brown, so I got Derrick Henry at minus 265. You just lay it and you just trust it and you just make money. It's just like Saquon, not Saquon, Chris McCaffrey last year. Then I like Jamar Chase at minus 130 on DraftKings. Like we said, he's the guy. He's going to be getting open. And I think Chase shows up like Burrow does for the big games. Like he loves playing against those teams that are the best and showing up in the big moments. So I like him a lot. Then I got Gasicki for plus 215. I think without T. Higgins, excuse me, without T. Higgins playing, I think they're going to need targets. He just had a touchdown last week. He's had a couple throughout the year. So I like Gasicki here. It's kind of like your Yoshivas play, but I'm just taking the other guy. And then I like Mark Andrews at plus 170.
okay, nice. I will say I almost threw in Gasecki in this thing. But
Right.
uh, to the people out there that might not like Yoshivash just because he hasn't really done much, I understand that. But the last time these guys played, T. Higgins was playing in this game. He had 2 touchdowns, 83 yards, and had 9 catches. He had 14 targets in that game. So the 14 targets have to go somewhere. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that they're all going to go to Chase, and Chase is going to have 27 targets in this game. Like,
Probably not.
I like the 14 targets to be split. Like you were saying, your play with the tight end with Gasecki. I like that, but I also like Yoshivash too as being their second, third string receiver. I just love that play, and it just makes a lot of sense to me, and it should make a lot of sense to you guys out there too. And if it didn't, and you guys didn't even think about that, there you go. That's why you're here. That's why we're here. We're trying to let you guys know the plays before they happen. So there you go. And
Right.
Ishavash is literally plus money for 25 yards. So the
You can
books
go
don't
take him
think
for
that he's gonna.
50.
Yeah, but like the books don't even think that he's gonna get it. The lowest you can take him at is 25 yards, and it's plus money.
Hmm.
So I love that play with extra targets. All it takes is one catch to get 25 yards in the NFL. Let's be honest, blown coverage or just bad coverage, and he can make a play with the football. So
Well,
yeah.
and Burrow's going to throw for a ton of yards in this game, and he's going to throw the ball a lot. That's how they're going to. That's the only way they win this thing. They're not going to win it by running the ball and playing keep away. They're going to have to throw the ball and score a lot of points. So, if he's going to be throwing the ball, he's already shown he likes this guy enough to find him for a couple touchdowns on the season. So, why not in a game where you're down weapons, you just find this guy and you feed him the rock?
He has 4 touchdowns on the year. So he's going to get his fifth this week. And just to let you guys know, you guys don't have to bet. This isn't like a lock or anything like that. I'm just going to throw in an extra one. Take a peek at your sports book. If you have a couple units, or I guess just a unit or a half unit, just a small little play, you could take Yoshabas. I'm going to be doing this for 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure what your guys' books are going to look at or what they're going to pay you for it, but it's going to be really juiced because he's at plus 260 for one. So you're probably looking at 4 digits for, at least a plus 1,000 for him to get 2. So just
That's
keep that in
crazy.
mind because T. Higgins had 2, and they're going to go somewhere. So and maybe we're wrong about this game, and the Bengals are going to blow out the Ravens, and the Bengals are going to Joe Burrow's going to throw 6 touchdowns. Like we don't know. Like we don't know what he can actually come up with against this team. Last time was like the best game of his career, in my opinion. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Joe Burrow and the boys put on for us on Thursday night. But
We haven't had a 6 touchdown game from anybody this season.
no, and I don't think we normally do either. I think 5 is kind of like the benchmark, but we'll see.
Right.
Maybe he can do better than he did last time, which is crazy to think about. But
Yeah. No, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a banger. I'm excited for it.
hmm but that's all we got for you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Check out the NBA videos that we got. I mean, you've been slaving away on those every morning. We've missed a couple days here and there. We've missed a couple Monday night football games too. That's on us. We're still here. We're still doing stuff. Life gets busy. We both still work full time. It's a lot to do, and we flake out sometimes. But we're trying to do better about that. But thanks again for all the support. We do appreciate it. And until next time, enjoy Thursday night football, and we'll see you guys for Sunday.
Absolutely. Protect the bag, beat the book.